So in my last video, I went through my personal top 10 favourite films of 2022, and now we've finished looking back at the previous year. It's now time to look ahead at the next year in film and discuss my personal top 10 most anticipated films of 2023. Now, this is just my own personal list. These are the films that I'm looking forward to the most, and also just to make it clear, there's obviously so many films that I'm looking forward to next year. Next year looks to be really strong and really compelling, just like 2022 was. So I'm excited for so many films, but I had to narrow it down to 10, so let's crack on. Coming in at number 10 is The Flash. Now, I feel really weird putting this movie on here. You know, this film has been such a long time coming, originally slated to release in 2018, now getting it in 2023. To be honest, it's hard to believe this movie even exists. And obviously this film is just embroiled in controversy with all the Ezra Miller stuff, but it seems like Warner Brothers really have something here. You know, they must have something good if they've been holding on to it and are really clinging to it, given everything that's happened. Because they have had ample opportunity to cancel this movie or try to bury it in any way, but they haven't done that, which makes me think there is something here. Of course, this film does have the return of Michael Keaton as Batman, which is just very, very exciting. And also, this is the first live-action film for The Flash, which is a character that's very close to my heart. I adore The Flash, so the fact that we are getting a Flash film is very, very exciting. I kind of just wish it wasn't this Flash. But I'm very intrigued to see this. You know, it's a DC multiversal movie. Who knows what's going to happen in it? You know, there's been a lot of reports recently that this film has had a lot changed and a lot has been taken out and cut recently because of all the changes at DC. But I can't help but be intrigued. I can't help it. So I am excited for this. I can't wait to see it. I just wish the circumstances were different. Now, jumping up significantly to number 9, we have Scream 6. Now, one film I didn't talk about in my top 10 was Scream 5, which had been in my top 10 for the majority of the year, but I'd had some latecomers come in, which cracked the top 10, which pushed Scream 5 out. Scream 5 was in my top 15, if that, you know, gives you any idea, out of like the 60 or so films I watched. Scream 5 I loved, and it was a film I went into completely blind. I've never seen any Scream movies before that. I still haven't. The only one I've seen is Scream 5, and I was just floored by it. I had such a great time. So I'm so excited for Scream 6, and I love the fact that this is continuing with the same cast. Of course, we have Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, and one of my favourite new casting members of this is Josh Segarra, who I love from Arrow. He played the best villain on that show, and he recently starred in She-Hulk as well and was really good in that. So this has just got such a great cast. It's taking place in New York City, which I think is such a cool idea to like kind of take this franchise that really has generally taken place in a small neighborhood and to move into the big city. That's a cool twist. So for me, Scream 6, I'm so excited for it. I can't wait for it to come out, and I'm a new fan to this franchise. I'm going to catch up on the other movies before this one comes out, so I'm fully prepared, but after Scream 5, I just want more of this. Coming in at number 8, we have Creed 3. Oh, I love the Creed movies. As someone who's not really a fan of the Rocky movies, I've actually not seen them, believe it or not, but I have seen the Creed films. I just love the Creed movies. They're so inspirational, they're so entertaining, they're heartfelt, and Creed 3 looks to be like the ultimate conclusion to this trilogy. And I do hope this is the last one. You know, I like a trilogy, I like a tightly knit trilogy, and with this we have Michael B. Jordan stepping up to the plate as director for this as well as obviously being the lead star. And I really love the personal tale that this film is going to be telling. You have Jonathan Majors, who is one of my favourite actors working right now, playing the villain, who seems to be this childhood friend of Adonis, and he's going to be coming back for vengeance. He seems to be dangerous, and I really like that. Jonathan Majors is such a tremendous actor, and I can't wait to see what he does with this character and in this role. He really is massive in this movie, so I can't wait to see that. And overall, like I say, I think these films are such a shining light in the sports movie genre, and for this to be the final entry, at least I hope it's the final entry, I really hope it gets a knockout. Coming in at number 7, we have Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. This movie is at number 7 because it's Christopher Nolan. You know, Christopher Nolan is one of the best directors we have working today, and while I think his previous film Tenet was a bit of a miss, I hope that this film does get him back on track. You know, him doing yet another historical epic in the same way that he did with Dunkirk, which I love Dunkirk. I think this could be something really special. This also has one of the most insane casts I've ever seen. We have Cillian Murphy, I always pronounce that wrong, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Josh from Drake and Josh. This cast is just mental, and I can't wait to see it. Also, you know, with Christopher Nolan being the master of IMAX that he is, we actually got to see the trailer for this with Avatar, and it just looked phenomenal. I just can't wait to see what he does with this. This looks to be a very different film for Nolan, but I'm totally on board with that. And this is also his first film working with a different studio. Of course, he's now moved over to Universal after working with Warner Brothers for so long. So that's going to be interesting as well to see how it performs. But I just love Christopher Nolan. Like I say, he's one of the best directors we have, so I can't wait to see what he does with Oppenheimer. Coming in at number 6, we have Dune Part 2. And similarly to what I said at the last entry, this is simply my number 6 because it is Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve, if you don't know, is my personal favourite director of all time. Now, the reason why this isn't higher is purely for the fact that I really like Dune, but it is my least favourite Denis Villeneuve film, and that's not because I think it's bad. I really liked it. I think it's great. It's just I'm not massively attached to Dune, like as a franchise. Like obviously it's based on a novel, and it's not something I'm particularly attached to in that regard. As much as I really enjoyed that first film, but what really gets it up there is the fact that Denis is directing it. You know, that first film was such a passion project. It's Denis Villeneuve's favourite novel ever, so the fact that he got to make the film of it, you could tell he really embraced that opportunity. You know, this cast is phenomenal. We've got so many cool members joining the cast in this one, particularly Florence Pugh and also Austin Butler, who I really loved this year in Elvis. They're both in this, and just the fact it's Denis Villeneuve's next movie, that's enough to get my butt in the seat. Like, I'm there. And it's a continuation of Dune, which I thought was such a great, innovative sci-fi film. I just can't wait to see where they go with the story and where they go with the visuals and the cinematography. It's such a beautiful film. So to see where Denis is going to take it next, I can't wait. In at number 5, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I honestly wasn't expecting Guardians 3 to be on my most anticipated this year. It was, you know, I really like the original Guardians of the Galaxy, but the second one I really wasn't too hot on. Like, it's fine, it's okay, but I don't love it or anything. But after the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special and also the trailer for Guardians 3, I'm back on board. You know, James Gunn is really returning to form here with this movie, it looks like, and the holiday special kind of confirmed that to me. Like, I watched the holiday special a few weeks ago, and I just loved it. Like, it really reminded me why Guardians 1 was so good and why these characters are so good. And I really hope that that vibe and that feeling carries through to Guardians 3. And based on that trailer, it looks like it will. James Gunn has said that this is going to be the final film with this iteration of the Guardians. Whatever that means. It seems like there is going to be a major death in this one. Main candidates appear to be Drax or Rocket. So it's definitely going to be an emotional one. And this also looks to be just like a little bit darker than the other Guardians movies, which I'm here for, because I feel like those films, you know, while they really do well in their humour and they embrace those lighter, you know, more heartfelt moments, I think for this to be the final film of the trilogy, it needs to have some stakes, and I felt that from the trailer. So I'm really excited for Guardians 3. I'd probably say this is my most anticipated Marvel movie of the year. I mean, I'm pretty excited for all of them. Like, Ant-Man looks really cool, the Marvels sounds really interesting, so I'm excited for all of them, but I think out of all three, I think Guardians 3 is probably taking the top spot for the MCU this year. Coming in at number 4, and honestly I'm shocked it's this low, Fast and Furious 10, or Fast X. Honestly, the reason it's this low is because we haven't seen anything from it yet. We haven't seen any footage yet. This might shoot up once we actually get a trailer. You guys will know how much I adore the Fast and Furious franchise. I love it so much. It's so close to my heart. I think it's such a fun, diverse, incredible franchise. And I know a lot of people really have a bad taste in their mouth after Fast and Furious 9. A lot of people felt like that movie just jumped the shark and went too far. I agree, but I also don't care. I really enjoyed Fast 9. I thought it was such a fun movie. And I just can't wait to see where they go with this. Like, this is going to be the first part of the final 2 films. Fast 11 is going to be the final film of the franchise. So this is probably going to end on a cliffhanger. But I also really hope they do raise the stakes in this one. Like, I want to see some actual threat and some actual danger, because they've basically turned these characters into superheroes, which I think is fun, but when we're getting to the end of this franchise, I want to see a little bit of threat. Also, there are rumors that Gal Gadot is returning for this, which is just perfect. Like we've got Han back now. Let's get Giselle back. And also from that tease at the end of Fast 9 as well. Are we actually going to get justice for Han? We better. But I just love this franchise so much. I can't wait for Fast 10. It seems so much fun. The only worry I have for this is the fact there is some behind-the-scenes drama with this movie. Like, obviously, Justin Lin and Vin Diesel seemingly fell out, which caused Justin Lin to leave the project. He's, of course, like, the most veteran Fast and Furious director. He, like, returned with 9, and now he's gone. And we have got Louis Leterrier directing, which doesn't give me a huge amount of hope, to be honest. I really wanted Justin Lin to stick around for those final 2 movies because he is the veteran director. But we'll see where it goes. Really, at the end of the day, Vin Diesel is the mind behind this franchise, so let's see if he can pull it off. Coming in at number 3, and I didn't expect this to be this high, we have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Indiana Jones is yet another franchise that I absolutely adore, and when I found out that Disney were going to be making a new one, I was worried. And then we heard a lot of rumours about what the film's going to be, and I got even more worried. And then we got the trailer, and my worries were swept away. Indy 5 looks great. It looks great. I mean, James Mangold is directing, which is perfect. I love Logan. I love Ford v Ferrari. I love everything he's done, pretty much, that I've seen. I think he's the perfect choice to direct an older indie film. We have Harrison Ford, of course, returning, who... Is he too old now? Yeah, but I think that this movie is actually going to try and embrace that a little bit, which I hope they do. Kind of do what Top Gun Maverick did, where it kind of showed that Maverick, you know, the world was moving on a little bit and leaving Maverick behind. Do that with Indiana Jones, you know, and also kind of what, you know, James Mangold did that with Logan as well. You know, it really showed how an older character in this kind of more fast-paced franchise can really suffer. So hopefully he can bring that here. But also, Harrison Ford is just... He's a great actor. A lot of people forget how good of an actor he is. And also, you know, a lot of people think, oh, well, he just doesn't care about these franchises. But he does care about Indiana Jones. He may not care about Star Wars, but he cares about Indiana Jones. So he's not going to phone it in this movie. And you can already see that from the trailer. But what I loved about that trailer so much was it really brought back that feeling of adventure. You know, really what those films are all about. You know, it's the reason why I love that franchise. It's a treasure hunting, globe-trotting adventure, and I love that. And the new cast members look great. We've got Logan's Boyd Holbrook in the movie playing a villain. Awesome stuff. Love him. It's also got Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. Amazing. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be in the movie as well, who appears to be playing Marcus Brody's goddaughter, I believe, or it's some sort of relation to Marcus Brody. Cool way to keep the Brody bloodline in the movies. And, you know, it seems like she might be taking up the mantle. Maybe not, we'll see. But I hope that she gets a better hand in this movie than she got in Solo, because she definitely was dealt a bit of a dodgy card in that one. But I really, really am excited for this. I really hope they don't let me down. You know, the Dial of Destiny, there's a lot of rumours that this movie's going to involve time travel. I really hope that's not the case. I can't be doing with that. Like, that's not what Indiana Jones is to me. Based on this trailer, it looks like it's not that, but... I can't fully, you know, get on board with that quite yet. But here's hoping James Mangold pulls it out of the bag. And also, please, to God, if this is the last Indiana Jones film, which it should be, please actually end it. Let's end on a good one. We don't want the last film of the franchise to be Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Let's end on a high, please. In at number 2, and honestly, my number 2 and number 1 could swap back and forth. Like, these are on equal, you know, equal footing. Currently, I have Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Now, if you're a friend of mine or if you know me from YouTube, you'll know I adore the Transformers franchise. I grew up with that franchise, so it's kind of my ultimate guilty pleasure. Like, I love all of the Michael Bay films. I loved Bumblebee. And this film seems to be a direct sequel to Bumblebee, so I'm not complaining about that. But the main thing that's exciting about this is that we have beasts coming into this. We have Beast Wars elements actually being brought into this. Now, Beast Wars was an element of Transformers I was never particularly into as a kid, but I really am interested to see what they do with them, because they are a very interesting part of Transformers lore. It's a very different part of Transformers lore, and I'm interested to see how they bring that lore into the live-action films, because I feel like they're going to have to make some changes based on what I've seen from the trailer. But the action looks fun. It seems like this movie is actually focused on the robots, which seems weird, but like, you know, all the Transformers movies, for the most part, mainly focus on the human characters. Despite the fact I love all those films, You know, you go to a Transformers movie to see the Transformers. You know, you want them to be the main characters, and it feels like this might be the first film in the series to actually truly do that. The robot designs look great. I love the cast we have for this. You know, the cast of robots we have is really, really cool. I can't wait to see Mirage in action because he's awesome. And I was talking about how much I love the Creed movies, and director of Creed 2, Stephen Cable Jr., is in the director's chair for this, who I think is a great choice. So, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, I can't wait for this. You know, I'm always down for a new Transformers movie, and if Bumblebee was great, I think this could be even better. And potentially, if it's great, could be the best Transformers movie ever made. But my number one has to go to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oh, the Mission Impossible franchise. It's just beautiful, isn't it? It's just great. And Tom Cruise, once again, you know, he delivered last year with Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure he's going to deliver here again. Reteaming with Christopher McQuarrie for the third time in this franchise. They're a dream team. They really are. They're an absolute dream team. And based on that first trailer we got, this just looks spectacular. The Mission Impossible movies are some of the best action movies you can get. I would say Mission Impossible Fallout, you know, the last film in the franchise, is the strongest and is one of the best action movies ever made. The Mission Impossible franchise, for me personally, gets better with each and every entry. I just love all 6 of them, and I can't wait to do a big rewatch before this movie comes out. I just think there's nothing else quite like it, and this trailer looks so special. And you know, this is the end of the franchise. I've spoken a lot in this video about, you know, these franchises ending. You know, this is part 1 of a 2-part ending. We have Dead Reckoning Part 2, I believe, coming out next year. So again, how are they going to tie up this franchise? How are they going to end it? Are they actually finally going to kill Ethan Hunt? That would be pretty wild. And I just love this cast so much. I love this, you know, team that is behind it. I just think it's a really special franchise in Hollywood, where a lot of these action franchises really phone it in, or they kind of give us this half-assed action that doesn't really deliver. Mission Impossible isn't like that. You know, it really gives you this hard-hitting, realistic, authentic action that you can believe in, and it's also got great characters and a great story and great villains. And the new cast members for this look great. We've got Haley Atwell, we've got the guy who played Deathstroke on Titans, he's in it. Just a really, really cool cast overall, and I can't wait to see what ridiculous stuff Tom Cruise does in this movie. You know, how else is he threatening his life this time? I just can't wait to see it. So, like I say, my number 2 and number 1, they could swap back and forth depending on the day, but as of right now, my most anticipated film of next year is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So there you have it, guys. There is my top 10 most anticipated films of 2023. Like I said, make sure you leave your own list in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about which films we're most looking forward to next year. And like I say, if you want to see more content like this, there should be a lot more coming just like this in 2023. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the reviews of any of the films that I just mentioned. And I hope to see you guys again in my next video.